Hello and welcome to another episode of the Football is Fixable Alright podcast with me, James, and, well, the Samwise to my Frodo. It's Sess. How you doing, Sess? You alright?
Samwise was the one that actually did all the work, wasn't it?
Well, he sort of helped. Frodo wouldn't have been the hero he was without Sam's help, so...
He took all of the glory, I suppose, for everything that's that. Sam literally dragged Frodo up that mountain on his own.
And as he admitted, he couldn't carry it for him, but he could carry him.
Yeah, that's only because of Frodo made up that random, like, oh no, only I can carry it. Why?
Guys, hate to interrupt again. This whole duo thing.
What is it, Gollum?
Yeah, I was going to say, and Gollum, who's helping us work our way through the layer of darkness.
Yeah, excellent.
Hi, Dan.
How you doing, my preciouses?
Yeah, good. Not too bad.
I think James is still recovering from the last episode when we played that prank on him.
Yeah, Can I ask, by the way, are there going to be any pranks going on in this episode I need to be on guard for, or is that cheating? Am I not allowed to know?
Well, obviously you're not allowed to know.
That wouldn't make it.
Would ruin the fun if we told
But incidentally, can you just open this box for me?
I'm not touching that box again, says. Right. Can I get in off the post before we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, so this week, you know how up until now people have been joking about Florian Wirtz not scoring, and he was 007 and 008 and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
In the last set of fixtures, he apparently scored against Sunderland to put them 1-0 up. And Liverpool released this post online, goal Florian Wirtz, and the comments underneath. Finally, and the haters will be shocked. Give him time. Love, heart, fire, all this kind of stuff. Respect the German prince. And then, within a few moments, Prem says it's an own goal, but I don't care. I know what I saw.
Amazing.
And then it was, and now we're going to be winning the league. We're going to be fighting our work. We're on the comeback. They ended up drawing 1-1.
Yeah.
And there's my off the post.
You know what I found quite funny? The game that we just watched, the Liverpool against Leeds.
That's a good game,
3-3.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Soboslai's goal, I think there was to make it 3-2. You remember that one? Wirtz did that dummy.
Oh, that was actual genius. That was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Top
but
class,
he's not
yeah.
going to get an assist for it.
It's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once somebody passed to me in football once, and I was going through on goal, and I had my back to the keeper. Basically, he was the last defender, and I sort of did the same thing. I sort of dummied, and the keeper followed my dummy, and the ball just rolled into the net.
Yeah.
I don't get an assist or a goal for that.
No.
How does that
your
work?
XG will actually be high, and then you miss basically.
So when I'm answering to my manager, like my performance review, that actually makes me look worse.
Yeah.
Even though I helped this, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, Wirtz won't get the assist for that, but it was a moment of brilliance, wasn't it?
It really was. And you can only really, of the players that played in that game, I can only really think of Wirtz as the creative one to have actually done that.
Yeah, that's the thing, because it's not just the step over, it's the awareness, knowing that he's opening up the space for Szoboszlai running in behind. Absolute brilliant player. And you can tell he is a brilliant player if you're doing things like that at that
On the
pace.
flip side of that, though, how funny would it be if he went a whole season without scoring or assisting? How great would that be?
It would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So,
and I don't want anyone to think this is because of some sort of Liverpool-Everton rivalry or something like that. I think if he played for Everton, I still would have found it funny. Kind of like I'm a little bit disappointed Barry scored.
Yeah, Barry scored his goal today.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was very amazed. And I think, this would be one of a few goals maybe in his career.
You've been very critical of Barry, and also Calvert-Lewin, who also scored against Liverpool, and both on the same weekend.
It was
scored.
a penalty, and he wasn't involved in winning the penalty either. And then soon after that, he had a chance of Liverpool had a chance of winning the game, didn't they? And yet his bad header made the other guy offside.
Oh, you're this bias against Calvert-Lewin. He claims to be this non-biased hero. I mean,
hang on, shouldn't I be calling him an Everton legend? The fact that I'm criticising a former Everton player, that surely means that I am being unbiased.
Dan, help. We're going to find him biased one of these days. Anyway, in the news this week, did you guys see the whole FIFA World Cup announcement of the prize, the FIFA Peace Prize, and the World Cup fixtures being...
Yeah.
The
prize that FIFA always said they wouldn't really get involved in politically. They're not allowed politically to get involved.
Exactly. They will fine clubs. They will absolutely
Penalised?
They will penalise clubs for any political statements. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to join any political campaigns or anything like that. And then you see Infantino, the head of FIFA, sucking up to Donald Trump, creating a new award, the FIFA Peace Prize.
Which has nothing to do with football as well.
Nothing to do with football.
Yeah.
It's all political.
And everything about the photographs with the World Cup, it was all in and around the White House. You had Trump getting involved with the picking of the teams in the groups. Everything was just, it's just so political. Like, when have you ever seen, aside from the photograph of the three leaders, when did you see the Mexican or Canadian leaders getting involved in anything else? It was just always Trump, wasn't it?
Yeah. But there we go. Not that we're getting political. No, we can get. We're not FIFA. We're FIFA. We can get political, can we?
Yes, we absolutely can. But we won't, because it's a bit boring.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So this is why, folks, the game of football is in disrepute. The game is gone, and we need to fix it. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
Right, Dan, I know you're with me on this. The game's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. And you can tell it's gone because
truly gone.
Man United are rubbish at the minute. That's my measure. That's my measure.
Man United have
That's
gone
the
as well.
measure.
Yeah,
That's a fair measure.
when we're at the top and we're the best team, then I know the game's come back again. But right now it's gone. It's rubbish.
It's definitely gone for United, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it's not just the whole Peace Prize thing, which is just so cringy, but the whole kind of World Cup, there's going to be a halftime show in the World Cup final now. It's all just about commercialization, viewership. It's not about the love of football, the beautiful game, trying to attract people to play and how football can transform lives and get people out of their circumstances and be a great distraction from horrible things and all this kind of stuff, right?
It's
more
money.
about, how much money can we make from it?
Yeah,
Transform people's lives. You mean the players?
Players, famous podcast fixing people as well. Football transforms.
It's transformed our lives, absolutely.
It transforms everyone's lives. It's amazing.
I think the thing is, though, the high is for people, for the fans watching the game as well. It can make or break your weekends as well, can't it? So maybe not your entire life, but on a day-to-day basis, it can make a big impact in your life, can't it?
Yeah, it's ruined my weekend when Arsenal lost to Villa. My weekend's ruined, and now I've got to welcome Cess over to the studio.
I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. I think every weekend of mine over the past 10 years has been ruined. So you've got a bit of catching up to do there, James.
Yeah. 25 years for me, so you've still got some catching up to do for me as well.
This sounds like that sketch from...
Luxury.
You think you've got it bad.
Yeah, but I was happy because when I turned up... Everton won 3-0, so
they did.
Barry
it's a good game, and Barry scored.
Yeah.
I mean,
it could be worse for all of us. We could be Liverpool fans.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so
we're
we should just be
that.
thankful that we don't have to support Liverpool.
I'd just like to say though, with this whole game's gone, just to play devil's advocate, I don't think it has gone. I think it's just changed. What you guys always thought of football was that it was some sort of grounded sport. Like a lot of sports, when they start, it's quite grounded. It's for the people locally.
The communities.
Community in the area. So the stadium would be filled by people in and around that area. And then eventually it started kind of becoming more national. So now most United fans are in London, for example. Anyway, and then football decided to become more global. So instead of local, it became global because you wanted more money. The Premier League decided to go global.
Yeah.
Bring the eyes, bring the money.
Bring the players. The Premier League now attracts the best talent from the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, and whereas before it was... Serie A was supposedly the strongest before the Premier League, and then La Liga was kind of taking all the best players. But then now, all of those not just the clubs, but the actual leagues are lagging behind, and the Prem is so far ahead.
Yeah.
That is the culmination of becoming global. So actually the vast majority of Arsenal United fans are outside of not just London and Manchester, but outside of the UK.
I don't know. Does that mean the game's gone? The football is still for communities. Whenever I go down to Arsenal, it just brings people together. And I think the world is still a better place when we bring people together, right? The more diversified we are. So I've got nothing wrong with more people, more fans from whatever country, culture, wherever you're from, bringing people together. And we now have more interests. If anything, it brings those people together. Yeah. And it's just the thing is when you're seeing things like clubs pricing out fans, the ticket prices that you see, And also the TV. We've now got to get how many different subscription services, and there's going to be another, by the way, as well as Sky, TNT, however many else, Amazon.
Yeah.
We're now going to have Paramount as well. They're going to have Champions League games from 2027.
That thing I can kind of understand. That's an argument to have in terms of the global outreach is fair enough. You've got to have these streaming services that give you a way to watch the games. And then to have so many different streaming services, I can understand that's quite bad. But the ticket prices, if you think of Rolex years and years ago used to be basically affordable for everyone. And then they became very popular and they were raising the prices. They became the more luxury brand. And so they became basically this luxury brand that not everyone can have. But if you do have it, it's a statement piece.
Yeah.
And it's not an affordable watch. I would say if for Arsenal, for example, you can only seat 50,000, 60,000?
60,000, just over.
60,000. Yeah. But how many fans globally does Arsenal have? Millions.
Yes, in the millions, yeah.
Tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions. I don't know what it is, but millions and millions. And so I think now it's gotten to the state where going to the game itself is actually, it's a luxury Rolex. That's what it is. Luxury. So it's not for the regular person just down the street from the Emirates Stadium. That's not what it's designed for. It's designed, like in America, all the ticket prices are hundreds of dollars because it doesn't matter for them necessarily to have people going regularly and to have season tickets. What matters for them is to sell the tickets, and they will be able to sell the tickets at whatever price because there's enough fans that they have where enough people will pay the tickets. And with Arsenal, you will find 60,000 people in the world that are willing to pay hundreds in order to go and see a game. But that's what it's become now. You want to have the biggest league, the best players, so you need the money. And in order to do that, you need to raise prices for everything. So I don't think the game's gone. I think it's just become global.
Right. I'm listing out the main reasons the game's gone is because ticket prices, because of
rubbish
TV subscriptions.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think there's a loss of identity as well, though, isn't there? Because
loss of identity,
from what
VAR,
loss of identity.
Yeah, I don't know what it is anymore.
From what you're saying, Seth, like as if like the people that go to the games, it can be a premium thing, and it's only the super wealthy that will be able to afford tickets. Like that's okay. I don't think we should just accept that as being okay. I think I
don't necessarily say it's okay. I don't like the idea.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, so the atmosphere in the stadium, the people that fill those stadiums will change, and it will become a different thing, and the passion and everything that's there will become really diluted because it will just be like a tourist event,
Exactly.
And that's what all of them are saying.
I think this ties into as well, like this level of like appreciation for the history of the clubs and care and stuff.
Yeah, but that's just change, isn't it? Because what you're talking about is, again, it's a global factor. Before, let's say, I don't know, 50s, 60s, very few players could actually come over anyway because there were strict rules about who could play, who could actually get jobs in the country in general, and then who could actually play in the leagues, in the teams. And then eventually it started opening up so you could have more foreign players, to the point now it's just completely open, isn't it? I'm sure there's some sort of rule about academy players or something.
You have to have homegrown players, but they have to be in your squad, not necessarily in your lineup. So bringing in a lot of the foreign players now has hindered the academies of so many clubs.
Yeah, and you got PSR and everything where it actually kind of promotes the idea of selling your academy players.
Yeah, Chelsea have made a very successful model
of
it,
and all of this, again, is just down to money, and it's become global, and it's become easier and more accessible to get foreign players from around the country. And traditionally, the academies in the UK have been worse, haven't they? The Spanish and Italian academies, they've been so far ahead that until recently, it's actually been very difficult to compete with that.
Yeah.
That's why you have players like Fabregas, for example. He came from the Barcelona academy, went to Arsenal, and he was already far and away
top talent.
Yeah, as a 16-year-old. So I would say the game's kind of changed. It's evolved to allow this global feel where it's more accessible for foreign players, foreign talent, foreign fans. If you don't want it to be like that, then actually it'll be more like the German league.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, let's talk about Germany for a little bit, shall we? We mentioned before that it's actually good to have the 50 plus 1 rule, I think they call it. So fans own a majority, basically, of the whole league. And so they don't allow these foreign investors, for example, they don't allow this idea that, the whole talk about the extra game being played abroad and things like that. They don't allow that, in which case, if you don't want the English Prem to be this whole games gone situation, global and everything, then you will be more like the Bundesliga, where you can have good competition. However, you're not going to be global. You're not going to have. You're not going to be one of the most competitive leagues in the world. You're not going to have humongous money coming in. You're not going to have the best players coming to your league. But that's what you'll have. They'll have cheap ticket prices. They'll have more available tickets and shirts and everything. Or all the sponsors, all of the clubs are being looked after properly and invested properly.
What about before the Premier League then, when English teams won the European Cup? How did that happen? Before
Forest, Liverpool,
Nottingham, Liverpool,
Man United,
hugely dominant in the 80s.
Well, how did Leicester win the Premier League? They're just occasional things, aren't they? There was no dominance. I've said this to James before. Arsenal do not care about James in the same way Man United do not care about Dan. What they care about is as many fans as possible. It doesn't matter. If James says, I'm never going to see an Arsenal game again, they'd go, boo-hoo, we'll go to another country and have millions of more people following.
Stop talking like this.
They don't care about you, James.
Stop it.
They're a terrible club. But yeah, that's the way it is. They just want more and more because they want to feed the potential success.
It is overly commercial, and this is a real issue with football,
isn't it? These clubs are all built really by the working class people. The
community, yeah.
The communities. So I mean, a lot of these, particularly like in the north, you had like Liverpool and Man United, stuff like that. A lot of these were like teams of factory workers and like dockers and stuff like that. And then obviously it developed into something else. But even as the teams developed, they always like would be aware of their community, and it was always like giving back to those people. So it was like for those people.
Was it?
And for a long time it stayed that way. And it's only really recently that's really, and like after like 100 years of professional football, that it's started to lose that touch,
What do you mean by giving back to the community? Because no stadium was ever built by the community. The only thing that was started by the community was before it went professional. Once it went professional, it had nothing to do with the community. It just happened to be where the stadium was placed.
Well, yeah, but it was placed. So there was the stadium, for example, Old Trafford was placed in the middle of like a working estate type thing.
And it brought people together.
And it brought people
that's what
together. And it was
at the moment it's bringing
its amateur roots, because of the amateur roots of football. It was always like it worked alongside those communities because. Yeah, okay, from before it was professional, from when it was amateur, it was like all these people, but there was still an acknowledgement of that was the roots of it, if you see what I mean.
And a lot of clubs like that. We think Bristol City, locally to us, it's a local hub for where people get together. And it's the thing at the weekend. It draws the whole community in, a great atmosphere. It can change the feel of the city.
And the Premiership started in the very early 90s. I've never felt like clubs have been that out of touch with their fans really until more recently, like in maybe the last 5-10 years, so it's not like it's since the Premier League's come in and all the money's come in that it's all been detached. It's only really recently that it's got to a point where it's a problem. So it's gone too far.
I think it is that you guys are wanting to hold on to this idea of a local community when it hasn't been that for so long, especially in the Prem. Bristol City, as an example. Sure, it's a local community thing, but that's because Bristol City have traditionally not been successful at all. So if they get into the Prem and they start winning multiple cups and trophies, I don't know, they become very successful, then they would start getting more of a national and probably eventual global outreach. In which case, would you say, oh no, Bristol City's lost it. They need to go back to the roots where they were really unsuccessful.
Caring about the locals. That's a key thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and when the Emirates was built, they cared about the community. They were doing stuff for the community. Man United, when they're saying they're supposedly building this new stadium, which obviously won't happen, they said that a lot of the stuff they're doing is actually putting money into the community. So they do things like that. It's just they're a global. Their outreach isn't just for the community. Their outreach is global. It doesn't matter if they say we might be able to get 54 new fans if we do this new communal thing, or they go, we do pre-season in Malaysia and we'll get 15 million new fans.
I think, to be fair, I'm with Cess on that one, Dan, in terms of, I said earlier about the global reach and bringing fans together, loads of cultures. I think that's only a good thing, but it's the pricing the local fans out. That's the bit I don't like. How local fans should still have the opportunity to support the clubs, go and see, have access to the club, but it's almost like you are pricing out. You talked about Rolex earlier. Why are we being priced out of it? I was a member with Arsenal for a long time. I used to go down and watch games, but then particularly since Arsenal are fighting for the title again, it's almost impossible to find tickets.
So
you have to pay hundreds to get the tickets.
I don't like this idea that someone in the UK goes on benefits for not working and then doesn't even try to work even if they're capable, and then they say things like, yeah, but I'm allowed to be on benefits because I was born here, whereas foreign people, they shouldn't be allowed to have benefits. I don't like that idea. I think if you're capable of working, you should work. If a foreign person comes over and puts money into the system, paying tax and everything, I think they should be allowed the same benefits. The whole idea of locals being priced out, I think, is a similar thing. Just because you might have lived near, you happen to have lived near or happen to support a club from when you were young, and you're from the UK, I'm from Manchester, so I'm supporting Man United or Man City. I don't think that means you should be thought of any higher than someone who lives in America or China or Japan. They should be allowed to watch the games that they want. They should be allowed to go to the games if they want. And if Man United are going to have 100 million fans around the world, obviously the ticket prices are going to go up. So I don't think it matters at all that you happen to live in Manchester.
I don't think it's a geographical thing though. The price, if it's like the price of the ticket. If you're pricing out your local fans, then you're probably pricing out half of your international fans as well. It's not a local thing. The price is high. The price is high. So if you're pricing out people in the UK where our GDP is pretty high compared to other countries, and you're saying it's good to have international, then what about those who aren't as wealthy in foreign countries that want to come and watch a game at Arsenal? They're never going to be able to
have to pay a lot more to travel to the UK and then to have a ticket.
And that's why I'm
thousands.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying it's Rolex now. It's not an affordable thing anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why football is Rolex.
And that's not.
We say football. I suppose it's the top.
Not a good thing.
It's the top
football,
side, isn't it?
Oh yeah, top football. Yeah, I don't like it. I wish I could have a Rolex. I wish all of my watches are Hublot and Omega, Breitling, Rolex, but it's not. And I can complain about it, or I can just buy a digital Seiko.
So because I want a Rolex and not a Casio, I just have to lump it and I have to go Casio then, and I just have to buy a Casio. Even though I'm envious of the Rolex.
Yeah, just because you're envious of someone, if you can't afford it, you can't buy a Rolex.
Oh, I see. So we have Rolex taste on a Casio budget, is what you're saying.
Exactly. You're born in the wrong tax bracket. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You've actually seen football evolve. Actually, that's the thing. In our lifetimes, we've always seen Rolex being a luxury brand out of our tax bracket, as I say.
Yeah.
But football, we've actually seen it evolve, go from affordable to now the Rolex.
Yeah.
That's why you guys are feeling, I say, out of touch. Like myself being, this modern, new age guy, looking forward all the time, very future driven, I can see this and I'm evolving with the game. Whereas you guys, very traditional, old fashioned, just not wanting to change, always moaning that in your day it was better. You guys aren't able to move forward and see these things.
To be fair, also though, you haven't really been subject to these issues because you support Everton. So
hey, I've been. Imagine paying Everton prices to watch the last few seasons of Everton. I mean,
Rip off.
exactly.
Yeah.
I reckon you guys would have got more money, more value for money over Everton.
You're talking to a Man United fan here. Let's be.
Oh, that's a good point.
Well, there you are. Well, we've presented a case, Dan and I, as to why the game's gone. Whether that be the organisation that runs football, FIFA, whether it be VAR, which we actually haven't even got into the VAR stuff yet, to be honest. But everyone knows that VAR is making the game go very far away. And then we've also got the accessibility and lack of localisation of football anymore. It's gone too far away from the local area, Sess. So let's get into the fixes after a halftime head scratcher.
Good morning. Here's your halftime head scratcher. Including both professional and amateur football, what was the fastest red card ever recorded? The clue is that it's in the seconds, not minutes. Find out after the break. Before the break, I asked what the fastest red card ever recorded was, including both professional and amateur games. The answer is 2 seconds. In a Sunday League game, after the ref blew the starting whistle, a player swore and complained about the noise of the whistle, to which the ref took offence and sent him off. What a f***ing idiot.
Thanks for that, Sess. I think that's a 2-game ban there for you there. But brilliant, as always. But before we get into the fixes, do we have a player or nayer up your sleeve, Dan?
We do indeed. In the context of colourful language, I've got a couple of wonderful names for you guys. So,
Oh, brilliant.
Excellent.
let's get into it. So, current score is 7-4 to Sess. He's doing very, very well. James, you are not really doing very well at all. So we'll start with Sess again this week, as he is ahead. Sess, your name, Mickey Scrotum.
No, I'm not having it. Ain't no one called Scrotum. That's a family name as well. You're not gonna bring this family name generation to generation and say, yeah, would you like to marry me and take the name Scrotum? No, not having it.
You are correct. That's a point to you.
Yes.
You are indeed correct.
This is easy. You make it so easy for Sess.
He just gets them right. He has names just like you do. He just gets them right and you don't.
Yeah.
Right then, Professor James. Next one. This is yours, okay? Randy Bullock.
Brandy. Sorry, what?
Randy Bullock.
Randy. Is that Bullock?
Yeah.
Like
Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, like Sandra Bullock, but Randy. Wait a minute. I'm going to say that's player. And that's not a footballer's name. Bullock. You don't say a Bullock. I'm going to say golf.
It is a player. You get the point.
Yes! Come on.
It is an American footballer. Plays for Tennessee Titans. So you don't get the bonus, but you got the point for the name. So we're now running at 8-5 after this week, going into the next. Congratulations, guys.
So, fixing the game then. The whole game's gone, right? How do we bring it back? Dan, help me out.
Well, I think if we ran things instead of FIFA, that might help things. Maybe FIFA needs to be replaced with FIFA.
I'd agree with that straight away. That's a fix I'm having.
That's something that we did say a long while ago. In fact, actually, I think when we started it, that was kind of our fix every single episode was if we did it,
if we were in charge.
Yeah.
Is that one area you concede to us then? Actually, for to improve the game, we need to remove FIFA from leading it.
I wouldn't necessarily say concede because, like I say, I've been saying that all the time. I think it'll be improved anyway. All I'm saying is that you guys are saying you need to fix things. What you're basically saying is we want to go back to what it was, but you don't want what it was back then.
Right, next one. VAR. We haven't really spoken about it today, but in previous episodes we have, and I think everyone already knows how hopeless VAR is, despite what Seth says.
Most recently, actually, I was saying get rid of it. You were the one that was saying we should keep it.
Was I?
Yep.
James, you don't really know
should
what
we
you're
keep
talking
it,
about, do you? No, we shouldn't.
Yeah, we had a whole debate about how I was just sick of it, and I said get rid of it, and you were saying no, it's showing signs of getting better.
It is actually showing some signs of getting
Oh,
better,
all of a sudden, yeah.
but it's still rubbish. So in one word then, Dan, VAR, keep it or lose it? That was one word, wasn't it?
They're both 2 words, so I really don't know how to answer this question.
Oh, and you're going to refuse to answer? All right.
Okay. It's got to go. It's got to go.
I mean, even I would say yes. I wouldn't necessarily say the game is gone, because I think it needed to try and modernise, and it needed to accept that it can work. It's just that they've just done it really badly.
If you make a brilliant car, but then you put somebody in it who can't drive it,
Yeah.
it's not going to go
You don't
well,
blame
is
the
it?
car, you blame the driver.
100%.
Exactly. And that's what it is. So VAR has made the game go even further away. So we're getting rid of VAR. What about the whole community and accessibility thing, Dan? So you were not happy about how football has kind of become less focused on the local areas and things like that. I think the accessibility, not just to the local area, but even just the UK population, we have to pay so many different subscriptions now, and it's going to get even worse from 2027, as I mentioned earlier. It's so expensive just to watch football, which is our
Two different
national
arguments,
sport.
though, community feel and the accessibility through streaming services. Because I agree with the streaming services. It's too expensive. There's too many different streaming services to have to subscribe to.
Yeah.
I agree with all of that. But the whole community thing, the local thing, I don't agree with that at all. Just because Apple was started in America, I don't think Americans should get a discount for Apple products just because they're from the same country that the company started. I don't think Manchester residents should get cheaper prices just because they're in and around the Manchester stadiums.
No, but I do think that that Manchester United takes in such a large revenue that they've got a duty to give back to, like, just like, you know, in the UK we pay taxes and stuff, right? Like, I'm not saying that it should be just for the local community. Like, I actually agree with your point about it branching internationally being a
brilliant.
good thing.
Well, should we end it there?
I just think it also does need to give back to the community that it like thrives from.
Why? I mean, I think it should as well, but why should they? What's the obligation? And also, they are still doing that.
Well, as long as they're doing that, then that's fine. Then I retract my point. So, yeah, that's fixed. Brilliant.
I was going to join the debating team when I was at school, but somebody talked me out of it. So, in terms of pricing, though, that's one thing which you do agree with. So, in terms of fans being priced out of it. So, with the streaming services, all the different channels we have to get to watch football. When we were growing up, there was a post I saw online from a fan saying that the reason why young kids don't like watching football these days is because it's not accessible. When we were growing up, we used to watch ITV and BBC and see football all over that, right? Like the Champions League was on ITV, for example.
Yeah.
These days you need to pay, and now it's going to be TNT, Sky, Paramount, Amazon, all these different types of media just to watch a game of football, you know? And it's so expensive in a time where living in the UK is expensive enough as it is. So my fix for this is one centralised streaming service. The Premier League will have its own, and a second streaming service for the Champions League.
And then a third one for the internationals. I like the idea of centralising the streaming services. Well, not the streaming services, but basically the football games, centralising it. So maybe it's a thing where they say the Premier League games can only be shown to one streaming service a year. So they can change it yearly if they want.
Yeah,
but you only have to
money
subscribe to one. So that kind of thing I agree with. I still think that it's basically football has become global like any other sport. A lot of other sports are kind of priced out in a sense. If you want to go and see Wimbledon, you know, you're going to have to pay premium prices. If you want to watch Formula One, boxing, all of them, it's premium prices. And I think this idea of I want to go see Anthony Joshua fight, and because he's London born and he's fighting in London, I live in London, so I should get cheaper prices. I think that's just nonsense.
Yeah, that's a fair
Interesting
point. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fair point. All right, we don't have to fix that
wow.
then. All right.
Did I fix you guys?
I have one final fix, and to be honest, it's creating something beautiful. So I've created this idea of the Football is Fixable, all right, World Peace Prize. And I think what we want to do is reward people for saving really important things in the world and bringing peace, bringing people together,
Yeah,
that kind of thing, making the great things in life more accessible. And
that's a great idea.
I think the inaugural winner of this should be the Football is Fixable, all right podcast for this episode in particular.
Yeah,
For how we've tackled the corruption of various leaders and political groups and all kinds of things.
That's
Technology. We've conquered so much in this episode.
yeah, and we'd like to thank ourselves for voting for ourselves.
Yes.
For this inaugural prize.
It's been an honour.
Yeah.
What the listeners can't see at home is whilst accepting this prize, we're all wearing caps saying FIFA was right about everything.
Yeah. So there we are. Speaking about corruption, let's get some fantasy football talk going on. Here's John's juicy tips. Juicy.
Oh, you let your tips go, John.
John's juicy tips. Yeah.
All right, the people at FPL Towers are being very generous this Christmas time by giving us 5 transfers to play with. So, no excuses, listen to these juicy tips and bring them into your teams now. In defence, it's the Polish Peach, Matty Cash for Aston Villa. They are the form team in the league, and Matty is their form player, with a goal and an assist in his last 2 games. In midfield, he's back. It's Phil Foden again. I can't not mention him as he scored 44 points in his past 3 game weeks, and 3/4 of managers still don't have him. And up front, with Arsenal at home to Wolves this week, I'm backing Victor to score. Yep, he's back from his injury, so go get Gyökeres in your teams. Juicy.
Thanks, John, as always. And wow, it's really heating up in our league, guys. Have you seen where I am? I'm pushing top 10 now.
Yeah, I know. I think the league is very similar to the Prem this year, where so many people are very close around the middle. So one good week, and you're like, oh my god, I'm
fly
near
up
the
loads
top
of
10.
places. Yeah, it's brilliant. I must credit Tom, still top at the moment. We still haven't had anyone catch up with him. So Stay Humble FC still top place currently. But we're not at the end of this game week yet, so we'll wait and see what happens. And if you want to join our league and show your true ball knowledge, you'll get shout-outs every week on the podcast that you top the table. That's if you can top Tom at the moment, of course. That sounds a bit interesting. And yeah, you can do that with the entry code SD4GZV and see if you've got what it takes. Well, thanks there, guys. We talked football, real football, the best football. Some say nobody talks football better than we do.
Wow,
So
that's a fantastic Kanye West impression.
Isn't
there.
that really good?
right on.
Yeah, so
wait, I
good.
don't. Working on my Americanisms. So thanks, chaps. We fixed the game. The game is well and truly back as far as we're concerned. Tune in next week. It's been a pleasure. Have a great week. It's goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me.